360 flips are everywhere in skateboarding. They look like a super cool trick and look really fun and satisfying to do. But for me, they were really hard to learn. I worked on them for years and felt like I was never making any progress. And then I learned that there's sort of another way that you can do a 360 flip. The first way that I was trying never really worked out for me. I can do them that way, switch, but the second way is really the way that I became consistent with them. Hey, I'm Bo with Open Source Skateboards, and in this video, I'm going to show you two ways to 360 flip. So a 360 flip is technically short for a 360 kickflip, when the board does a kickflip while doing a 360 shove it. And that is how I interpreted the trick and how I thought it had to be done when I was younger and learning this trick. And I just could not figure it out that way. I'd hear people tell me it's all in the back foot scoop, but I couldn't figure out how to make my front foot work with the board, with the scoop, and it was just kind of a mess. And then one day I learned about 360 underflips, and they looked pretty different from 360 flips, but I thought it'd be fun to give those a shot. I learned those and became more consistent with them, and ultimately, after doing them for a few years, they started to look like 360 flips. And that is one way to 360 flip. So while there's technically no kickflip involved, and if you look closely here, you can see my front foot really isn't doing much. The board is doing the same exact motion as a 360 flip. Most people, when I do this trick, can't tell that it's not a 360 kickflip. And I think there's actually a bunch of people that do their 360 flips this way and just call them a 360 flip and just use their back foot for both the flick and the spin. The other way that you can 360 flip is that original way that I said, really doing like a kick flip and a 360 shove it. And this is how I do them if I'm doing them switch. So my switch definitely still needs a bit of work. So they're not easy for me by any means, but this feels more natural. I can make the motion work for me in switch stance, where I can't really get this to work for me in regular stance, or at least I haven't figured it out yet. And if you look closely, you can see there is a very distinct flick with my front foot as my back foot scoops the board backwards. So we have two ways to 360 flip here. One involves kick flipping and one doesn't really at all. And the reason I wanted to make this video was to hopefully show you one of these methods if you just thought there was one, because one of these will probably work better for you than the other one. And I can tell you, even though a 360 underflip isn't a 360 kickflip, it's still super satisfying to land. Now whenever I do these 360 underflips, I kind of feel like I'm using a cheat code, even though for some people, a 360 underflip is harder than doing a 360 kickflip. So again, I wanted to make this video to show you that there's multiple ways to do the same, or at least very similar tricks, and that you'll likely progress more if you let go of trying to follow some sort of standard, rigid structure of what tricks you need to learn and in what order, than if you perhaps just listen to your body a little bit more. Try out a bunch of tricks, of course. Nothing's going to come easy, most likely, but certain things will feel more natural than other tricks. So try to leverage your strengths, and you'll probably go further in terms of progress as a skater than if you try to stick to your idea of what you need to learn. And you might develop a really unique style when you really listen to your strengths and focus on those. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I hope that if you were struggling with 360 flips, you now maybe won't, and you'll have a new way to try to 360 flip, and hopefully you'll land this a lot faster than trying a method that maybe wasn't working for you. Thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome rest of your day.